Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is Riftnationnetwork, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
You got tripped up. Hey guys, welcome back to Mystic Mayhem. It's Lisa and Lisa, and I don't know what she's got going on over there.
I don't know. It's just a little Mystic Mayhem. I don't know. I'm hanging out with my buddy, and I don't know. We're just talking about our Halloween plans and what we got going on, and all that good stuff. So,
what do you have going on at the jail actually for Halloween? I'm curious now.
Well, surprisingly, we don't actually have an event or a booking that night. We do the weekend before and the weekend after, but nobody's snagged Halloween night yet. So I'm pretty surprised, but yeah, hey, it is whatever. So just out there, it is still open. If anybody wants to book the jail Halloween night, it is available. So any night of the week. So absolutely. So how has your week been going?
Good. We came off well. I had to represent since we
well, I'm representing the ghosts. Woo!
Did you go watch the 12th Man Saturday or no?
Not this past Saturday. Unfortunately, I had to work, so I did not. The game we went to was 2 weeks ago. So no, I didn't make the last game, but it was an amazing game as always. They've been doing really well, and my nephew Sam Matthews, the 12th man, still kicking butt and making us proud. Although I do have to say the game that they played, what was it, Auburn, I believe. Yeah, girl, he dislocated his shoulder. So I'm just saying it's a good thing I wasn't at that game, because this auntie right here would have jumped down and been that little chick on the field running down there being tackled by security or something. Because
see you on TV.
No, for real, being tackled and handcuffed, and yeah. No, but he's okay. They did an MRI, and as long as he wears a brace, he's good to go. And so we're excited. They won last Saturday, and they have their huge game this coming Saturday against Alabama. So beat the hell out of Bama. So can't wait to not going to that game, but I will be home to watch that game. So I am.
It's a home game.
I'm sorry.
It's a home game.
Yes, it is a home game. So yeah, I'm very excited. So I'm excited to. I can't be there, but excited to just watch it. So
yeah,
see him running out on the field every game, holding that flag. And girl, it's just the coolest thing. I know you're not an Aggie fan, but you love me, so you love the Aggies.
Well, it's going to be good rivalry soon once we change divisions.
Yes, it will. So how's your Horns been going?
We beat Kansas 40-14 Saturday. I took my son to his first game. I saw the pictures. They were so cute. Aww. I looked over and he was doing his little fingers, and
it made you proud, right?
Yes, I took about 24 pictures instantly.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so
cool. Our offense was on. Man, they were just on it, because they only had 200 yards, I think it was. For offense, and we were 500. I mean, that's what really held them back that first half, and we really came in that second half. And
wow, sweet, nice. Y'all play again this weekend, or?
Oh, I don't even know who we play this coming weekend. That's a good question. I know.
You're fired.
No, Y'all, nobody heard that. I'll have to like.
She knows. She's just teasing y'all. She's just seeing if anybody's going to pop in the chat. You know.
Yeah. Who do the Longhorns play next weekend, guys?
It's a trivia question of the day. No.
Right. So we were going to start with movie reviews since it is Halloween. I like to do it every year, for sure.
Yes, definitely. Thank you to Keith. Thank you. I love my shirt. Wait a minute, my shirt or her shirt? Because if you like her shirt, go. No, I was joking. Keith over in the chat. No, you're talking about my ghost shirt, right? It's not the Longhorn shirt.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a Longhorn shirt that they're liking.
So whatever. I like my ghost. It's actually a little dress. I love it. So it's got wings. It's so funny.
It is cute the way it comes out.
I've got wings. Sorry. But gay movie reviews. You're right. This is like spooky season. So we decided to do some movie reviews. This was your idea.
Yeah. I had picked out a couple, and it turns out we actually picked out one. You said similar or same one, so it'll be interesting to see your take on it as well.
Yes.
What movies do you want to start out? You've got a special guest that's going to come on and.
I do. Well, let me bring my little special guest on right now so she can go finish studying for a test and get her shower and go to bed because it's a school night. So, child, There we go. So we're bringing in my girl.
I like the way you summon her. You need a little bit.
I know my summon. I'm like, boop, boop, and here she comes. We got to go down a little bit. Can you go down a little bit? There we go. All right. So this is my daughter, Monica. She's 13, and she's like legitimately has been like a horror fan since, I don't know. I think she saw it when she was 3. So, I mean, she really loves that stuff and is really into it. So we decided to do one of our favorite older kind of scary, creepy movies. It's an older movie and it's a Walt Disney movie, which is kind of interesting as well because it touches some really weird things for you got the giggles? Touches some really weird things for a Disney movie and it being kind of very different. How would you think that?
I'm curious what this movie is.
I'm so sorry. I'm just leaving you hanging. I ain't even telling you the name. It is called, what's the movie called?
The Watcher in the Woods.
The Watcher in the Woods. And it is a Walt Disney movie and it was made in the 1980s. And it's a PG movie. But I think for the 1980s, calling it PG might have been a little much. I don't know. It just because it really touches on some odd things like kind of like seances and interdimensional stuff through seances. So and it's not a cartoon. These are real actors. Some of the actresses are if you've ever watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards, she was in it when she was younger. She was, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old at the most in this movie. Betty Davis played in this movie as well. Obviously, she was older, but those eyes, she is still amazing. So basically, this story is about this family that moves to, they move from America. I made notes, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm reading. It's been a long week. Okay. So they moved to this estate in England, and it's an older home, and it's a huge home. And on the property, the lady that owns the home lives in a smaller home on the property. Oh, hey, there goes my husband upstairs. Bye. Hey. In his underwear and his hat. Y'all decided to see this. This was the greatest.
I think you're embarrassing your daughter.
We'll totally turn this around real quick because that was the funniest thing.
I mean, it goes with the name. It goes with the name.
So, all right, I'm lost myself here. So, this family, they moved to this beautiful estate, but it's kind of like a haunted estate. How would you call this property?
It looks like kind of like a very old mansion in a way.
Mm-hmm. And so the lady that lives on the property, she had a daughter a long time ago she disappeared. Nobody really knows what happened to her. So the family that moves to this home, there's these two daughters. It's Ellie and Jan. And Jan apparently looks just like this woman's daughter that disappeared. So a lot of weird, creepy things start happening on this property and with both the daughters. What do you have to say about it? What do you think?
It's like really creepy.
It's really creepy. That's why I said it's kind of hard to believe that it's a Disney movie. Because the spirit that I don't want to say haunts, but it's trying to get these girls' attention. It's the girl that disappeared. So throughout the story, all this really weird stuff happens. And it's all pointing towards a solar eclipse. So why don't you go from there? Why don't you take it? What happens when they realize when this one daughter is able to convince everybody that, they need to recreate the seance on a solar eclipse because, this girl is trapped in another dimension. And it's this whole huge, and like I'm saying, it's pretty scary. I mean, for the 1980s, I mean, it's a pretty scary movie, and I highly recommend it. It was really a great movie. But they end up having a seance at the end, and they're able to bring back the girl, but she was caught in another dimension. So, I mean, it's 5 ghosts on a rating of 1 ghost, meaning it sucks, and 5 ghosts, you got to go run out and see it, rent it, whatever you need to do. 5 ghosts? You give it 5 ghosts?
Yeah, I give it 5
We give it 5 ghosts.
I love it.
It was a great, great movie. Now, okay, because I'm a tough critiquer. I really am. The acting, it was the 1980s, and it's, I don't think it was no high dollar film or anything. So the acting sucks, but I can get over it. It was the 1980s. But it was a great movie. I highly recommend it for sure.
Where do you find it? Where'd you watch it?
I bought it. I've had it. The very first time I saw this movie, I was probably 3 or 4. So, I mean, and back in the 1980s. So I've had this movie for a long time, but you can go on Amazon, and it's The Watcher in the Woods with Bette Davis. And no, I highly recommend it for all ages. Watch it with your kids. It's really cool. It's a great movie.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about interdimensional later, and when we talk about the jail.
Absolutely. All right. What movie would you like to do?
Well, I can start with the sucky one.
The sucky one? All right. Which one sucked?
Okay. It's a movie not to watch.
Okay.
I watched A Nun's Curse. It reminded me of the Nun movies. Well,
okay.
Nothing like it, of course. So this movie's from 19. It's a horror movie. And the director, I've never heard of the director, and it's an independent film. And it's pretty graphic. Like, it's pretty vulgar and like talks about suicide and death and all this, the sexual stuff. So I would not, watch it with your kids.
Right.
But it's like these two girls, 2 boys, they're just kind of out, and they basically have to take shelter in this abandoned jail during this storm. And there's this old nun that like supposedly killed all the inmates and prisoners. Like, she would just slit their throat and poison them and do all this stuff. And then she was never apprehended and took off before charged with it. And then supposedly she haunts that jail. But the acting was it was terrible. It was slow. It was predictable. It was like, it took me 3 days to finish this movie because it was only a 60-minute movie. It was very short to begin with.
You needed a mental break in between.
No, I was like, I do not want to watch the rest of this. So I would not. If you can find it for free, maybe, but this one, against A Nun's Curse. And
when did it come out again? When was it made?
2019. It's not that old of a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, the director is a Tommy Faircloth.
Okay.
and he's got a few movies to his name. I didn't look into his others like I did some others, but I would just bypass that and move on to the next. Honestly, I don't know what else to say about that one.
Well,
low budget, you get what you pay for. I don't know.
pretty
Now,
much.
I will say that the nun was creepy. The nun, like, not even that creepy though. She was just good at acting. The nun that was killing people. Now, the second one that I did was the same one as you, and that's because you had mentioned this one was Megan that came out. I guess it was made in 2020, but then it was released January of 23.
Correct.
Yeah, and that one is listed as a PG-13, which I kind of expected just a little bit more because of the blood and the gore, but I guess teenagers these days can handle more than me.
See, and I'm so not the blood and gore girl. I'm so not the unbelievable story girl. For me, a movie has to be completely real. I mean, the acting, it can't just suck. There has to be a story there, so and the blood and gore, it just does nothing for me. Like absolutely nothing. I can watch that all day and it's not going to affect me at all. So for me, it's really the believableness. And I mean, the movie Megan did have believableness in it because, you see how far technology has come and how realistic, these, weird dolls can be. Anyway, so off subject.
Yes.
So it was very believable in that aspect, but yes, the blood and gore for me, to me, it can completely ruin what could have been a good movie. And I think for me, that's what it did.
On Megan, too much?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, see, I liked it. Even though I don't like that, I did like it. Susan in chat says that horror helps her sleep. I think it's the opposite to me. It would keep me awake all night.
I'd like to say I sleep like a baby, but I really don't. But it's not because of like the weird shit in my head. So yeah, no. What did you think of the movie Megan? Monica, we went and saw the movie Megan together. So let's get the kids' perspective on it.
I mean, it was good, but like the movie was pretty short, and I did not understand what the whole point of that movie was.
That's a kid's perspective. Okay.
But you liked that movie with the stupid hand thing? What in the heck was that movie even called?
Talk to me.
Talk to Me? Did you ever see that movie or hear about that movie?
No,
Okay,
what is
it was
that?
stupid. That's
they
why.
had like all British accents, and it was like hard to like understand what they were saying.
It was hard. Now I can understand accents, don't get me wrong, but it was hard to understand because very thick British accents and they talked very fast. But the movie was about this hand, this haunted hand that when you were blindfolded and they did this weird seance thing and you touched this hand that you could see a dead person. And then all this weird stuff would start happening and you have like 2 minutes to be with this dead person and then they have to like unblindfold you or you die too or something. But like, don't even if it's for free somewhere, don't watch it because it's that sucky. Like zero ghosts. Like there's no ghosts. Like
I mean, I understand the quality was really good, and there was this one scene that, like I love watching gore and that stuff, but like this one scene, you don't want to see it. It's very disgusting.
Coming from the kid that loves blood and gore, she said it was pretty disgusting. So yeah. So for that movie, we give no ghosts. But for Megan, I would give it 2.5 ghostesses. I don't know. What would you give?
I give Megan like 3 ghosts.
3 ghosts.
I would have done 4 or 5 easy. I loved it.
Thank you. You really liked it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I could go along with it because I think the story was a believable story, and and with the doll and like I said, technology and what we can do now, very believable in that aspect. But God, girl, the blood and the gore and all that, like it just can completely ruin it for me.
So for people that have not watched it, it's like AI, like a life-size doll for kids that they're trying to like promote. And this lady, her niece is like orphaned and she's trying to adopt her. And so she like programs it to be her niece's friend. And then of course it goes crazy and kills everybody.
It goes horribly wrong, like
right?
Who would have thunk that it would have gone horribly wrong, Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
but it gave me chills. It was creepy. There were several spots where you're like, you kind of know what's going to happen, but you don't know, and you're kind of on edge. I liked it.
The suspense, and I love suspense, and it can be suspenseful in a funny movie and escape. That part I absolutely love. But like I said, the blood and the gore it just does. I don't know. It just ruins it for me, I think. And I don't know why. I'm just weird, I guess. I got nothing. But.
Oh, well, and I didn't notice this, but the girl that plays Megan, what is her name? Amy Donald. There's also another girl, Jenna Davis, that plays Megan's voice.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I didn't know it was two different. I don't know if Donald does the voice also, or if only Jenna Davis does. I was going to look at that, but I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
And then guess how old Megan is, the actual actress that plays Megan?
The doll? 9?
No. Is it? No, I've got to go back and double check this, but it said 28 years old. I was like,
what?
No. Like, is she a midget? Like, what is going on here?
That's crazy.
She looks 9 or 10.
She does.
Let's see. I'm pulling it up because I got to clarify this. Okay. Megan Donald. Surely I read that wrong. What's her age? Oh, wait. She was born in 10. How does that make her?
Bitch, you gonna make, oh, sorry. Girl, you gonna make me do math?
No, she's 13, right? Somewhere in there.
Okay. Well, that sounds way better.
Yes.
Girl, you could have been more wrong on that.
I know, right? But she still looks much younger than 13. She does not look 13.
That's too
I want to hear the one Jenna Davis that does the voice.
I think it would be so fun to be a voiceover actress, Not that anybody would ever want my voice, but I don't know, Shrek. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just over here blabbing. I got nothing.
No, but how does that work? Do they take turns, or she's the only one talking during the movie? Because I didn't notice that.
I didn't either. It wouldn't have been something I would have looked for. So,
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
Now that you know.
I know.
And hello, everybody in the chat. Hi, Mom. Oh, my mom hand waved. Hi, Mom.
Oh, is that your mama?
Hi, Mama.
All right. And was there another movie that you had done?
There is. I actually did, 2.5 more, but there's only one of them that I'm going to really talk about. The other two weren't even worth me watching the rest of them, to be real honest.
There hasn't been a lot out good lately.
Yeah. So, okay, wow. So the next movie I did was a Stephen King movie. So you have to expect that you're going to be all over the place and nothing is going to make sense. You have to watch it a few times because otherwise you're just going to be lost. So this movie is called The Cat's Eye, and it was made in 1985. So our main character is Drew Barrymore, and then we have James Woods, Alan King, Kenneth McMillan, Robert Hayes, and Candy Clark. So my husband and I, first off, I want to rename this movie. Okay, it's called The Cat's Eye, but I want to rename it The Adventures of General, because this whole movie, even though it's like 3 or 4 different stories. It all focuses around this cat and this cat's little adventures into like this crazy crap, right? So like at the end of it, and I'm like 5 beers in at this point. My husband's a couple margaritas in, and we're just dying laughing because I'm like, yeah, this is like the adventures of freaking General. Okay, like remember the movie Milo and Otis, where you follow this little dog and cat around? It's like that's what this was, but it was weird because it was like 3 or 4 different stories that really didn't have anything to do with each other at all. I mean, you're talking like 4 different complete scenarios as far as stories go, and they're all messed up. They're all messed up stories because it's Stephen King, and that's just how he is. But in each story, there's this cat, General the cat, right? And his adventures. And oh my God, I just had a brain fart. It's okay. But
The cat's eye. I'm
right,
writing
this cat's getting, and okay, so this cat is in each story, but there's also this cat has visions of this little girl. And the little girl is Drew Barrymore when she was, really young, because this movie was 1985. So she was probably what, like 5, 6, 7, 8, it maybe. But so in each of these stories, this cat and the visions of this little girl, Drew Barrymore. So at the very end, the very last story, when the cat makes it to this girl, and she names it General. So we got General the cat, and then there's these trolls in the wall, and they like try to steal her breath, and all this weird crap happens. And the mom thinks that the cat is doing all this weird crap, but it's really not the cat. It's these little trolls in the wall. But in the very end, like General saves the freaking day, and it's the adventures of General, but it's called Cat's Eye. 5 ghosts. Totally watch it, but keep in mind that like you're gonna be like, what the actual heck? Because I don't even know. It's really weird, and it is truly like 4 different stories, which are all like have nothing to do with each other, but it's the adventures of General. Okay, it's the adventures of General. That's exactly what it is. So, yay! But it's good.
You got someone in chat that came in and said, "I just showed up and heard brain fart." They just walked in the chat.
Welcome to my world and Mystic Mayhem, like brain fart. I got nothing. Okay, it happens, y'all. Okay. We're getting old. There's a lot of crap going on in the world. I got some dude in the background trying to grab my head. My cats are running around the house fighting right now. It happens, okay? Brain fart. But we're back now. And yeah, Cat's Eye, 5 goes. Please go and see it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do my other 2 movies really fast because...
Yeah, we got time. We got time.
We got time. Okay. Yeah, we do got time, don't we? I'm saying, what time? It's only 9. Girl, we got 30 minutes. Okay. I'm going to talk real slow.
Yeah, we got to talk about the jail.
Yes, we do. Okay. So,
Focus.
Because it came in the packet with the weird Stephen King movies, I put on the movie Dreamcatcher, which was made in 2003. It has Morgan Freeman, Donnie Wahlberg as a child with Down syndrome and like kind of special powers. And then there's these 4 friends. And then to be real honest, I don't even know what the frig happened because it was so all over the place and nothing made sense to me at all. And there was a whole lot of blood and gore. And it really made no sense at all. And it wasn't even remotely believable. So my husband fell asleep and I turned it off. So
if somebody falls asleep, I think that's an automatic 0. Yeah.
0 ghosts. Okay. 0. I give it
So
no.
what is this movie we're not watching?
Dreamcatcher by Stephen King. And Stephen, I'm so sorry because like you are the king, like you really are. But what the heck was that? I mean, look, if anybody over here on chat wants to watch this movie for me and has some insight, message me on Facebook, Lisa M. Franks, because I need to know who on God's green earth found this movie interesting enough to watch it and knows what the heck is going on. Please let me know. I would appreciate it greatly.
I do want to watch The Cat's Eye though.
Please do. I'm telling you, it's so weird and it like, and none of it makes sense, but then it does. And it's just, I don't know. It's weird, but it's good. So it's worth watching. Okay. My last one is a movie that I actually had to look up because I remember being about 5 years old and my parents renting this movie and, on VHS tape, or maybe it was even beta back then, and putting it in. And I think I got through maybe 30 minutes of this movie and I was ungodly terrified. So I was like, when you mentioned doing movie reviews, the first thing that popped in my mind was like, I have got to find this movie because I just remember being terrified as a child. Like I needed my mommy to walk me down the hallway to my bedroom because I was like, it was terrifying. So I looked it up and it is a movie that was made in 1980 and it is called Death Ship. So like death ship. Okay. So it starts as it's like this, like a Royal Caribbean, but not the Royal Caribbean type cruise. And then there's this haunted, it's a Nazi, oh shit, I had to write it down. Sorry, I took notes. I know. It was a Nazi something ship, a Nazi torture ship. Sorry, I can't. I'm going to be either in a past life or in a future life. I'm going to be a doctor, or I was a doctor, because my handwriting looks like a doctor's scribble scrap. I can't even read it. But anyway, back to the movie Death Ship. I'm so sorry. I'm like all over the place. This is Mystic Mayhem. Welcome. So yeah, it's a Nazi torture ship, and it's like haunted. So like there's no actual person on this ship. It's just a haunted ship that crashes into other ships in the sea. And then, so there's like these, like the captain survives and there's like a handful of survivors, right? And they climb onto this ship that they just find in the middle of nowhere, right? And then all hell breaks loose. The captain gets possessed by the crazy Nazi captain. And everybody dies in this horrific freaking way. And I can see as a child why I was terrified, but watching it as an adult, I'm like, this is the stupidest crap I've ever freaking seen. The acting is just god awful. The story's pretty stupid. It's gory. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to give it like 2.5, 3 stars just because. I mean, it's weird. It's out there. It's 1980s. So, I mean, you really have to think about that too. But Death Ship, yeah, watch it if you want. It was interesting, but it's not like, Cat's Eye or Watcher in the Woods.
Oh, Raven was asking in chat if this is the one with Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, ma'am, it is not. Jamie Lee Curtis is not in this movie. Let me see. I thought I wrote the actors and actresses down. There's Richard Crenner, George Kennedy, Nick Mancuso, Sally Ann Howes, and Kate Reed. I mean, none of these people in this movie I recognized. I think it was just like one of those off-made movies. I don't think it was any kind of high dollar, big in the theater kind of movie.
Your mom said she's sorry she traumatized you as a kid.
You did. You have no look. Like for real though, that freaking movie has haunted me forever. And I rewatched it. Actually, Deborah, my jail partner, and I, Deborah, she was sick for like 5 weeks. And so we were like, let's watch a movie one night. And we put that on and it was like, wow. I mean, I get as like a 5-year-old, there were some scenes that were like, scary, but as an adult, I just watched it and I was like, wow, this was like really stupid, but that's okay. So Mom, do you I can't even read the chat. My eyes are messed up. If my mom is still on there, do you remember that movie? Because if not, where did I watch it on? I think Amazon Prime or something. I watched it, or we watched it, or on YouTube or something. But yeah, you and Dad need to rewatch that and relive my horror. Thank you very much.
Childhood.
I know, right?
It's hilarious. Now, I got a scary one for you that's coming out. I don't know if it's been released yet. It's supposed to release if it hadn't already. Have you seen the trailer for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Okay, first of all,
what?
I'm sorry, Raven.
Good.
I didn't say it, but I just had to because my childhood is nothing but Winnie the Pooh and wonderfulness. So you're ruining this for me.
Apparently not. Apparently your mom already traumatized you with that other movie.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It looks scary when you watch the trailer. I mean, that's got to be really good. Terrorizing.
Yeah, I will absolutely be taking my youngest to see that movie because she has already mentioned that she would like to see this movie. So we will be going to see it. But
yeah.
Well,
for people that have not seen it, the trailer, without giving too much away, it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet that terrorized Christopher Robin and a group of young girls that are off in like some remote house. And it's just, I mean, I don't know how to describe the trailer. You just got to go and watch the trailer.
You're ruining Pooh Bear for me, girl.
No, and Piglet.
Oh gosh, that's funny. Well, when does that one come out? Do you know?
That's what I was just looking. When does that release? February 15th. It released. Did it already release? It says it released February 15th
of 2023.
Has anybody in chat seen it yet? It'll be interesting to see if anybody's seen it yet. So I just saw the trailer for it, and they're pushing it on TV. So I thought it was a fairly new release, but maybe it's been out since February. That's what the internet's saying, anyways. But I would definitely.
Well, it's the internet. We take that with a grain of freaking salt. Right. All that sugar goes.
And then there was a good TV series I wanted to mention too while we're on like kind of scary haunted stuff, which you may have seen. I don't know. It's The Haunting of Hill House, the 2018 series, the mini series. Did you watch that?
Girl, that is so crazy that you said that because a friend of mine was messaging me earlier and telling me that, him and his wife and their kids watched that last night. And I'm like, I watched it, I think literally like right after it came out. And I binge watched it. Like, yeah. I mean, it didn't take me long because I literally binge watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I binged it
all night. And then the ending. Did you get to the end?
Yes. But there was a follow-up movie. I don't know if you saw that. It was called something slightly different. I don't recall what it was. And it was not really as good at all.
That one was not, I give that one 0 ghosts because I did not like that one at all. But The Haunting of Hill House, that movie was mind-blowing. I mean, you're thinking one thing all along, and then you're like, that twist at the end, where it's like, I don't want to give it away, because for somebody that hasn't seen it, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like, and it's so true. It's like our ghosts and what haunts us. It's,
So those were two interesting things that I had come upon and was like, we got to share that. Especially the Winnie the Pooh. I am looking forward to that one.
I know. Well, if it hadn't already come out, and if it has, we'll, that'll be our second jail night. We'll investigate and watch, Pooh Bear.
Yes. Speaking of the jail and date night, Lisa and I had a date night at the jail with Katrina. When was that?
Was last Wednesday. a week
Yeah.
ago for tomorrow.
And it was at Old Lavaca Jail. If y'all have never been there, it's a great haunted place. Beautiful, God, gorgeous. Lisa, I'm gonna let you give the history because you know all about the jail.
I do. I'm the co-manager. So yes, haunted Old Lavaca County Jail in Hallettsville, Texas. So we were built in 1885, and we ran as the county jail in 2005, which makes us the second longest continually running jail in Texas. Although, all right, and I have a little beef with this, is that the first longest running jail in Texas, it burnt down and they rebuilt it. So I'm going to take a vote because I think that should make us number one then, because we're still standing, MF. Okay, we're still there. We've never burnt down. Like, we did have a fire in the backyard one day. I'm not quite sure what happened. I just saw the aftermath, but yeah, we have not burned down. We have been we continually ran from 1885 to 2005. There was originally a house that stood in the back that, from what we can kind of guesstimate, was there from probably about 1830. And the property was donated by the marshal that lived in that house for the jail to be built. So the jail was built connected to the house. So sheriffs and their families always lived there at the jail until the 1960s, when Sheriff Dodds was shot and killed in the line of duty. So his family was the last family to live there. What else? So and we've had two major floods in the jail, which pretty much completely took out the entire downstairs. So in 1941 and then again in 1981. The flood in 1981 ripped that house away, and you can still see the mark on the jail from where that house was ripped away and in and down the creek and disappeared within a matter of seconds. In 1984, they needed office space and some rooms, so they replaced it with like a metal building. So that metal building, which we slept in and partied in, we had a good time back there. We didn't do a whole lot of investigating that way. We just kind of hung out.
Yeah, I plead the fifth on that. Hold on.
Yeah, we will plead the fifth on that. There are not many photos from that night, folks, because there will be photos next time. So yeah, that back part was added in 1984, and it was, kitchen, laundry room, little break room, couple offices in the back. Couple interesting things that we learned just from different families who's, either lived there or had families that lived there was up until I think the 1960s, 1950s, the sheriff's wives cooked for the prisoners, and they came downstairs and ate with them. So it's, wasn't like it is today. It was very different back then. A couple of our cooks were known for their amazing cooking, and some people would even commit crimes to be put in jail so they could eat Miss Dolly's cooking, and so it's just kind of interesting little things. Anyway, sorry. So the downstairs, we have a sheriff's bedroom, a sheriff's office, a sheriff's parlor, which is all very active. The main hallway is very active. Upstairs, we have cells that were actually constructed in 1874, and then they were brought over when the jail was built in 1885. So those cells are actually a little bit older than the jail, and they're very creepy. As you saw, they are nowhere where anybody would want to be ever. The bars have the little squares that, like, you literally can't use both of your eyes to look through. So it's kind of like a mind screw. It's one of those things, which I think is pretty creative to, 1874, that they would do that, because they wanted to like mess with your mind. They painted the windows. You could not see out at all. Our men's side has 4 separate cells, and our women's side has like a day room and 4 beds. They are very active upstairs. We get a lot of activity, a lot of noises, a lot of shadow figures, a lot of more full-figured women, more voluptuous women. They will get physically touched on the men's side upstairs. The women's side upstairs, they are dirty old women. There were 13 brothels, 13 bars, 13 newspapers, 13 churches back in the day. The jail was very active with some dirty women. And you get some of our more handsome gentlemen get some really dirty EVPs coming from those women over there. So we've gotten some really interesting and some very crude things over there, from like the SLS camera, the little stick figure cameras doing inappropriate things when voluptuous women are over there. I'm trying to not be so crude for our lovely guests, but I'm trying to like get across that like you really have to come to the jail. So in 1976, we needed some more room at the old jail. We needed, more room for our women, so they didn't have to be upstairs. So in 1976, they added the downstairs cells. They also added a dispatcher's office and a sheriff's office. Then they also added 2 bathrooms. I'm thinking I should turn the camera around right now because here comes my husband in his skivvies and his hat. He's like, aw. I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was cute. It's raining. It's been raining all day here. Okay, sorry. I'm like, squirrel. Anyway, okay. So 1976, we added some downstairs cells, 2 bathrooms, a sheriff's office, and a dispatcher's office. So the downstairs cells and the upstairs cells, they're right about 100 years apart. So it shows the 100-year span in jail technology, which is truly interesting and very cool to see. Our downstairs cells, we do have a men's side and a women's side, and they have like when you think of a jail, you think of the normal long bars, and that's what we have in there. Kind of an interesting thing that they did when they built those in 1976 is on the very inside of those poles, there's another pole and it spins. So if you want to get creative and think you're going to, use a knife to cut through, you're going to hit that middle pole and all it's going to do is spin. So you literally just wasted your whole time trying to get out, and you're not going to get out. So we have had many deaths at the jail. We did have a cemetery in the backyard at one time, which was washed away in the flood. Back in the day, you think about it, the old sheriffs, it's 1890 and you've got, one butthead prisoner that, just, raped some chick and stole a horse. What are you going to do with them? You're going to shoot him, or you're going to throw him down the river. And that's what they did. And there was a lot of that. So it's, we did have a gallows as well on the property. There were 23 confirmed public hangings that we did have. We have everybody's name. The property. So the jail in itself is very active. I hate the word haunted, to be real honest, because I do not think that every spirit is evil and haunted and stuff like that. I think a lot of them just want to be heard and they just want to say hi. And we have a lot of that. We have a lot of our regular spirits. We have a whole lot of pass-throughs. We have people that that are maybe, maybe someone was attached to you, Lisa. And when you came to the jail, they were like, man, this place is pretty cool. And I made some friends here, so I'm going to stay. We have a lot of those too. And we're cool with that. But if you steal one of our spirits and they go with you, we're not okay with that. Like that, we consider that theft. So you gotta bring back. You gotta bring back. So it's I've worked there now for a little over 6 years, and it has truly been an absolute joy. I mean, it has been a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But the people I have met and the experiences that I have had there go so beyond paranormal. When you think of paranormal, you think of, oh, an apparition or, you know, an EVP or, you know, a disembodied voice or something. I've experienced all of that. The things I've experienced there open my eyes to things that I never in my life, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but never in my life, does it say 10 minutes or so? Okay. I'm hurrying. Never in my life did I ever think existed. Did I ever think, you know, like aliens, like, I don't know, you know, whatever. I'm not, you know, but no, like that's real stuff. Okay. It happens. Time loss, was doppelganger, objects traveling from the jail to your home.
Well, and you're not the first person to even say it. Like other people that have been at the jail, not saying any names, have mentioned time lapses, periods of time missing. And then, like, I truly believe in doppelgangers. That was my first book that I wrote, was Doppelganger or Not, Case by Case, where it was about cases, case
Yes.
after case. All these people were like, I've had this experience, and I just, you know, put those out in a book. And yeah.
And it's
So
scary and it's true. I mean, it's the things that interdimensional, and that's why I said Watcher in the Woods. You have to watch that movie. That interdimensional stuff, and it's triple dimensional and quadruple dimensional. I mean, there's so many dimensions to things. I mean, it's crazy. I've had so many mind-blowing experiences, and I'm not going to bore you. Deborah and I will have to do a podcast together one day. And we can talk about some of the things that she and I have experienced together that were like, we don't really even talk about because it sounds unbelievable, but God's word, it happened. Time loss, when you've got on recorder things happening around you and you were there and you know they didn't happen for like almost 3 minutes. I wanted to leave the jail that night. I was done.
And I can't see you ever. I mean, you go by yourself up in the cells.
It's like my home, you know. I mean, it truly is. That jail's like my home. It's my heart. But yeah, like truly that night, I looked at her and I'm like, I'm packing a bag and I'm going to Chaparral down the street. I'll see you tomorrow. I didn't end up leaving, but girl, I mean, I really I stood up and felt my butthole. Okay. I thought like aliens came and abducted us or some crap. I'm like, what happened to
Like checking everything.
like it was mind blowing. And it's like not on one recorder, not residual energy. We caught it on 2 recorders and it was just too much. So, yeah, definitely come to the jail. Have a great time. You know,
Check your
we are booked all the time, girl. We are so booked. On our we have a Facebook page. We are Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail. The first link on our page is our booking link, and you can book a night, you can book a weekend, you can book 24 hours. If you have if you just want to come take a tour, please message us, because it's just my partner and I, and it's just the 2 of us that run the jail. And I live like an hour and 45 minutes away from the jail. So if you would like a tour, I will absolutely come do that for you. Just message us so we can schedule it. But we love bookings. Sometimes I make cookies and hot cocoa for our guests because they're so awesome. So
I got a whole basket. So
we did get a whole basket of stuff, and I made cookies.
Yes, I'm so sad. I left my cookies behind. I left my drinks behind, but
well, we said we're going to do this again soon.
Yes.
So you're going to come down again, and you and I, we are going to investigate, and we're going to take videos so we can upload for everybody and show them.
That'd be fun. We'll have to share it on one of the shows.
We will. How much time do we have? Quick. We got a few minutes. Tell us about your books quick. I'm sorry I took so long. I blabbed.
No, we're good. We're good. I do have the need for some different cases for an upcoming book. Basically, organ donators, it's going to be hard, but I need people that have recipients that know their donor or their donor's family, I guess I should say.
Okay.
So like so I get the story start to finish. I need the full picture, not just one end or the other. And I don't want to get too much into the book and why, but it has to do with cell memory. So I need organ donors and recipients.
Okay.
And it basically it has to do with people receiving organs. They take on the characteristics of their donor. So like, food cravings or habits or things like that when they receive their heart or their, whatever organ it might be.
That is so interesting. I actually do have a friend. I can probably message her and maybe see. It's kind of a touchy subject,
Yeah.
so it's like, but I would love to do that for you because, girl, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of outside of what we tend to think about and stuff, but yeah, it's something that's always been interesting. There's some research in it, but not a ton.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
cool.
It's kind of made me think about organ donation myself, even. You don't think about that sometimes, or if you're not a donor, and I'm like, no, I'll never donate. And then I'm now in several donation groups, like the recipients, how they have the support groups, I guess you should say. And they talk about, because then you learn about their long-term issues and stuff. So I got permission from, of course, from the people that run those groups, but to see like what they go through with the donation process from start to finish.
Right. Huh. That's very cool. Nobody was going to want my stuff. I've been a diabetic for 35 years. All my organs are shot to shit. Nobody I'm sorry, Raven. Nobody's going to want any of my stuff.
You're like, keep them. We don't want them.
Like, girl, why do we want that? It's worse than the person that needs it. It's like, I know.
So like you cannot be a donor.
Terrible. I know. I actually don't think I can. So it's all whatever. So it's okay. That's all right.
And before we wrap, I just want to remind everybody, our next show is Tuesday. That's November 7th. They'll have to stay tuned for announcements. We'll have to wait and see what topic, what guests we're going to bring on then. And then
we don't even know. It's going to be a big surprise.
It's going to be a surprise for us too. And I know. I like leaving it open sometimes. And then also under Rift Nation, since it's such a wonderful network, we have so many shows. The next one is going to be Raven, who's been in chat here. Raven's Flock, and she is talking about deja vu. So that'll be interesting. Tuesday, that's October 24th at 7 p.m. That's Central Standard Time.
She has a great show. So all of our people have great shows. Shit.
I know. They really do. We do.
It's really interesting. I love everybody's output on everything and, touching so many different subjects. So definitely keep in tune to all the shows here.
Yes, absolutely. So next up, Tuesday, don't forget to set your alarms.
Set your reminders.
Or feel like you're a big old day planner like me. That's what
Yeah. I just text myself. I don't know.
All right. Yep. Well, I think that's it. Anything else you've got before we wrap for today?
Anything else? Winnie the Pooh. No. I know, Mom. Winnie the Pooh. No. I know. Seriously.
I know.
What the heck? Well, awesome. I think we're good. I don't know. Y'all stay mystic and crazy and, all that good stuff. And
we'll see you next time.
Looking forward to our next show.
After our next investigation, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Hurry up and come back, girl. I'm ready for any day, girl. Let me know. We'll work. We'll work.